is so great to be here. Hello, Freedom Summit. Man, I love being with a group like this. We are fierce fighters for what's important because we know the number one responsibility of government is to protect individual freedom. This is where it starts. This summit is perfectly named. It is a room full of folks that are committed to fiercely fighting for freedom. And we know that there are those that get high on power and forget that that is government's number one priority and responsibility. And we see when we make sure and we guarantee freedom, we see that it ensures that our states are successful, that our families and our people are successful, and it ensures a quality of life. No one can match that, not any state across the nation. Indeed, there is no better name for this event. It is a summit of those that love this state, our country, and we come together to extol the virtues of freedom. Now, the Florida Democratic Party said, and she called this, did you see that? The extreme MAGA competition. You bet it is. We own that. Absolutely. It's better and in stark contrast to being the Democratic race to the bottom. Record inflation, record energy and economic dependence on our enemies, record number of folks flooding, invading our nation that are unvetted. It is unbelievable what has happened in just under 3 years. So you mean leaders come together in one room to give out ideas and share ideas and promote freedom? Yes, that is an extreme MAGA competition. We're coming together to make sure that we are ensuring we're the country that our forefathers envisioned and that our children deserve. Sign us up. Yes, it is. During our first term, under the leadership of Governor DeSantis and with his firm resolve, Florida showed that even in the face of fear and challenges during COVID, when the liberal mob decried any other approach than locking us up in our houses, shutting down our businesses, closing down our church services, we showed that we could stand out by respecting individual liberty and freedom. And we did so while focusing on the health and safety of Floridians. We focused that freedom is our central responsibility, and Florida is thriving. Florida's calculation, the Florida way, has catapulted our state into success. In fact, we are now the nation with the most people trying to move here. We are setting records in business formations. We are breaking tourism records. We are at a decades-low crime rate. Indeed, we are on a path of prosperity and success. And we have shown the world that if you focus and implement conservative ideas and conservative policy, it works. We did so in such a condensed time frame, and look at Florida's success. It's exponential. We are thriving. But look at the backlash. You know, it reminds me of an attack of the zombies. Anytime you promote life, vitality, stability, there's an attack. The intensity and the vitriol, it's like a zombie attack. They want you to be like them, think like them, believe like them. And we do not accept that here. We know that our conservative values and principles will not do it. That alone will not cut it. You have to be focused, and it has to be followed up with deliberate and efficient implementation of those ideas. Focus and the ability to endure and persevere ahead in the face of radical backlash, perseverance in the storm of overwhelming false narratives pushed by some in the media and the well-funded and liberal-staffed nonprofits, squaring off against a democratic machine for ideas that you know are worth fighting for, that is the key to success. Success is not an accident, and we have shown that and proven that in Florida. But it is based on a team of courageous conservatives. And I don't just mean those of us that you have chosen to help lead the cause. I mean you. I mean you in this audience of courageous conservatives. Our team, our great Republican team, has led with a brand of courageous conservatism. You hear it every day. It has become the envy of the nation. There have been great teams throughout history, even teams that evolved into what we would call dynasties. We lost one of the greats last week, Bobby Knight. They called him the General too, and I like that. He used his skills to develop teams into dynasties, but along the way, he stood up, he spoke out, he supported conservative causes and conservative leaders unabashedly. We can take this great team, this great Florida Republican team, and turn it into a dynasty. How do we do that? We do not back down from continuously seeking out how we improve. Every day, we're evaluating how we improve, and look what we've been able to do. When I first spoke to you 6 years ago, we were down in terms of registrations, hundreds of thousands, Republicans to Democrats. Now we lead by 600,000 registered Republicans. And by committing to improvement, we're going to break our personal best. We'll break our own record. We also have to put in the work, not being complacent, always drilling down, getting the job done, not resting on our laurels. I know that all of you, just not through our term, for decades have shown up, worked hard, engaged with voters, drove turnout. We are so grateful to you. In fact, it was that work and that dedication and that belief in us that resulted in a historic Republican win last year. Thank you so much. Our team has not been complacent, and I want to know that your dedication and passion has inspired me as your AG. And as I have watched this president and radicals in just under 3 years break down the structures that protect so many things that we value, I have I've been buttressed by your passion and support. And whether it was immigration or education, when they tried to rip away parental rights, whether it was fighting for our unborn, whether it was pushing back against the criminal justice nonsense that just weaken and destabilizing our communities. I have been effective, and we have won, and I have waged war against President Biden and his administration because of you and your support. So what else does it take to turn a great team into a dynasty? It takes leaders who are not afraid of the moment. And there has never been a more important moment in our country's history. In just 3 short years, we have seen this machine kneecap our country. And they have gone after the 3 basic needs of mankind: health, physiology. Fentanyl is rushing into our country. China and the cartels are assuring that. When Nancy Reagan first stood up in the 80s and said, "Just say no," she was worried about the national overdose death. You know how many we were losing? 3,200 a year. Under President Biden, we lost 110,000 in 1 year. They are killing Americans. Last week, I stood with Sheriff Grady Judd, and we announced a huge, record-breaking fentanyl bust right here in Florida. It was from the cartels, and it wound up here. It was enough to kill every child in our state. That is what we are up against. That is the evil we are up against. They have also attacked our security. When I first brought suit against Biden for breaking down the structures of immigration security, I was one of the first AGs to do that. Florida was the first state. We were the first state to sue on catch and release, and we were the first state to fight back when Title 42 expired, and we won. But Biden and his administration, they're like shapeshifters. Every time we win a battle in court, they shift. They change the name of a policy. They change how they're applying it. They create another program totally in violation of law. And what has that done? as I have unveiled through litigation, evidence after piece of evidence after piece of evidence over these years, every time Biden said, Mayorkas said, everyone said in that administration, our border is secure. Our border is secure. They repeated that over and over. And so a week ago, when we uncovered an internal memo that said the DHS was now warning that foreign fighters were crossing into our country amidst the surges that President Biden caused. And on Tuesday, when Director Wray said, as an aside, in congressional testimony, the threat of attack against American citizens on American soil is at a whole nother level. Did President Biden or Secretary Mayorkas or Director Wray stand at a podium and deliver that message to Americans so they could be on guard? No, because how could they, after year, when confronted saying, our border is secure? So this week, I stood with Florida law enforcement leaders from across this state, and we warned Floridians, as a leader should do, that you should be on guard because the threat, as in Director Wray's words, is at a whole nother level. And that is on President Biden. He owns that. And we're going to make sure he eats that next year. They've also attacked our sense of community, our belonging, our love for one another. I sat, as the wife of a law enforcement officer, I sat speechless as I watched riots happen under this administration, as cops were attacked, as their cars were burned. I couldn't believe it. It took so long for President Biden even to call it a riot. And when BLM came out and attacked our cops, does it surprise you it's BLM that's now pro-Hamas? And last week, when there was a BDS anti-Israel conference on one of our university campuses, would it surprise you that those same people, the socialists, were now sponsoring that? They have attacked and disrupted and made chaos amongst our communities in an effort to destabilize them. The health, security, communities have been deliberately attacked by the machine. And so in this moment of time, you have to have courageous conservatives to put their head down and walk into that wind and stay focused and implement our agenda to get this country and our state back on track. At times, and I know you feel it, and I am a mother of a young child, still in school, I see it every day, the fear of parents. I know you feel it. At times, it feels like these chaotic and ill-intentioned forces are gaining traction. I know you feel it. But it is in this moment that it will take our band of courageous conservative fighters to hold the line. And then we push forward, implementing our ideas that we know will work. And we don't back down and we get it down, because our Florida Republican team, you, and all of the leaders that are come on this stage today, we are America's dream team. We are America's dream team. We've shown it. We've delivered results, and we've delivered historic electoral wins. And I don't care if your favorite player is Larry Bird or Magic Johnson. What's important is we are fighting for the common cause together. It was their team that succeeded. They used their extraordinary talents, their hard work, their perseverance, and they succeeded. And it will take that same focus and collaborative effort to push our country back on track. There has never been a moment like this. It is all on the line, and it will take a great team, a team like Florida's team, to take that great team and make it a dynasty. Thank you for giving me this chance to lead. God bless my conservative, courageous Floridians.